So today we are going to learn about the first chapter of industrial law, that is contract of service and contract for service, and the tests to identify the workman and the independent contractor, and some related case laws and the uh, past paper questions. So first of all, before going into the contract of service and contract for service, the person is a workman or an independent contractor, I need to inform you two things that you need to keep in mind. So the first year that the syllabus is mostly covers the private sector employees, not the government sector. Government sector will come into play, but in a small sections that you will learn in the latter part of the syllabus. So it's most predominantly to the private sector and some part semi-government sector also. So that's one thing. And the second most important point is there is a contract between employer and employee. So that is being the letter of appointment, and some clauses are being mentioned in the letter of appointment. So that contract is so there is a contract, that letter of appointment. The labor courts or the labor commissioner does not always bind on the letter of appointment. Yes, it's a good authority, but the person, the labor courts or the labor commissioner, does not always bind according to the contract. They are they take the decision according to the situation and circumstances and the facts of the case, rather than the contract or the clauses mentioned in that contract. So keep these two things in mind. So let's go to the contract of what is contract of service and what is contract for service. So contract of service means the person is a workman. The contract for service means the person is an independent contractor. So first of all, we need to identify why we need to differentiate, why we need to identify whether the person is a workman or an independent contractor. So you might know that the person might quit the job after 30 years of service, that is, or is being retired from the business or something like that, will happen after a particular period of time. After that period, he will be paid the retirement benefits and gratuity and such things like that. So to calculate that, to identify that, we need to know whether the person is a workman or an independent contractor. So keep that thing in mind. So to identify whether the person is a workman, that is contract of service, and or an independent contractor, that is contract for service, we traditionally follow 4 tests to identify these things. So that in that case, first of all, we look into the control test. The name itself explains the meaning. So control test means a person have a particular control over you. That control might be from any aspect, like the employer might ask you to wear his uniform, his cap, or he might give the hostels and place to stay, and he might control you by the way of selling the product, that is a method of selling the product, and some sort he might have a control over you. So let's take a practical example and then learn accordingly. So there is a person who is a sales agent who is selling Lego blocks door to door sale. So that person has an employer, and that employer has given a motor vehicle to this person to go and sell the Lego blocks to each and every houses. That motor vehicle is controlled, that is owned by the employer. So that is one sort of control. And second sort of some control is this person has been told to sell the product in a particular way, the method of sale. So that particular way is decided and provided by the employer themselves. So in that aspect, there is another control. And the third thing is this person is instructed to go to this particular place and sell the product, so that the places is also decided by the employer, so that this person has a control, employer has a control over this person totally. So that means this person is a workman to that particular employer. That is contract of service, not contract for service. That is not independent contractor. So I hope you get the point. Okay, there are other tests also available, like integral test, economic reality test, multiple test. So you might ask a question, why can't we totally depend on the control test itself and identify whether the person is a workman or an independent contractor? My answer is we can't do that because there is a skill set of a particular person. For example, if you take a maternity hospital, so let's assume that I have no idea whatsoever about a maternity hospital or how it works and stuff like that. So, but I own the place. So there are persons like doctors and nurses are working in the maternity hospital. So I can't go and ask the doctor to deliver the baby in a particular way, or I can't go and ask the doctor to deliver the baby at a particular time, or I can't go and ask the doctor to discharge the patient at a particular time. So because I have no knowledge, or I have no skill set to do that. So on that aspect, you might think that I have no control over him. So with is he an independent contractor? No, not like that. So you might understood the point that I'm trying to make is that if the skill set increases, the control over that particular employee or the person tends to reduce. So that means we can't totally rely on controlled tests itself. So we have to use other tests. So that is the integral test, the second test. So what is integral test is very simply, integral test means the person provides his or her service to the business. That is, he's being a vital part of the organization, he is not an accessory to the organization. Let's take an example. There's a garment and there is a head cutter in the garment. He's being provided a cubicle, right? And that particular person employs another person where he pays the salary, not the garment factory pays him the salary, right? And he's not in the payroll, and he's not entitled to any sort of bonuses also, and he is being provided a commission, not the salary. So here you might ask whether the person is whether the person is a workman or an independent contractor. The answer is he is a workman because he is a vital part of the organization. Yes, he is not paid a salary but paid a commission. Yes, he is not in the payroll. Yes, he does not sign the register, but he is a vital part of the organization because he is a chief head cutter of the garment. So garment is a big thing. So in that case, he is a big part of the organization. If you take him out of the business, if you take him out of the garment, there will be a vacuum. So why that vacuum is being created? Because he is providing his job, his service to the organization. So he is being an integral part of the organization. Just like the hospital example, the doctors, you might think that they are independent contractor, but because of the service that they are providing, because of the vacuum that being created, if you take them out, you can understand that they are integral part of the organization. So I hope you get the point. Please read Sir's test. If you don't understand, please feel free to ask me or anyone else from our batch or seniors also. Okay. The next test is the economic reality test. So economic reality test is that whether if a person incurs a profit or loss situation, that particular person is an independent contractor. If a person does not have any profit or loss situation, that person is a workman. I can simply explain this very clearly. So through Sir's example itself, Sir might have told you about or introduced to the Archie and her vada shop. So let's take that example. So Archie is selling vadas to several people. Let's say Archie is selling 400 vadas a day, and also she owns it. She owns a place, vada shop, and a particular person is working under her, who is being paid rupees, let's say 10,000 per month, and is being an employee for 6 to 7 years now. And this vada shop is working, for whole week, that is 7 days a week. So on a particular day, Archie might sell 400 vadas, and the next particular day Archie might sell 300 vadas, and next particular day she might sell 700 vadas. Who knows? So here she has a profit or loss situation. Like she might earn, for example, if you say a vada is 5 rupees, which is not the actual price, but let's take it as an example. Let's say it's 5 rupees, so 400 into 5, she might earn 2000 rupees. So next day 300 into 5, she might earn 1500 rupees, and the next day 700 vada means she might earn 3500 rupees. So you can see there is a income fluctuation is happening, so that there will be a profit or loss situation. Why I'm saying that there is a profit or loss situation to this particular person, that an Archie, and not to the person, is that very simple. There is a cost of production to the independent contractor or the person who is to the Archie. For example, the Archie is selling the vada. She is buying the raw materials. She is doing all her work. and she's providing her labor into that also, so there is a cost of production involved. So you know the cost of production minus sales is the profit or loss. So for an independent contractor, there is a cost of production minus the sales, and there will be a profit or loss situation will arise. But for the workman, there is no cost of production, direct cost of production involved. Whatever he earns, the income may fluctuate, whatever he earns, it is his earnings. There is no loss situation to him. It is the profit. The income may vary, it fluctuate according to the sales, but it is his earning. So you might understood the point. So simply keep this point in mind. That is, if there is a profit or loss situation, he is an independent contractor. If there is no profit or loss situation, he is a workman. So keep this thing in mind. You might be confused by now, but keep that point in mind. We'll learn that point in a very broader sense in the case laws. Okay, the last test is that the multiple test. Okay, what is multiple test? The multiple test is a combination of every other test. The two main aspect of multiple tests is there are several aspects and several conditions that need to be identified to understand whether the person is a workman or an independent contractor. But two main important point that you need to identify is that whether that particular person, the workman or independent contractor, the person can delegate his work, that can ask whether he can ask another person to do his job. So if that's the case, that person is an independent contractor. That if he can delegate his work, that person is an independent contractor. If he can't delegate the work, he is a workman. So keep that in mind. And the second most important point is that whether that person can work for another person. For example, if I'm doing the sales agent job, while doing the sales agent job itself, if I can work for another company or something like that, I am an independent contractor. I am no more a workman, because I can work for another person while doing this job also. So I'm not a workman. That in that sense, I'm an independent contractor. So if that's the case, if a person can work for another person while doing another job, that person is an independent contractor. If he can't work for another person, then he is a workman. So I hope you got the point. And there are other several aspects to it also, like ownership of tools, the hostels and places to stay is provided, the uniform, such things. The control is also considered in the multiple test. So I hope you understood the four tests. The first is control test, whether you have a control over the particular person. Second thing is, and also the control test, you need to identify the higher the skill, the control list tends to be lower. So you need to go to the next test, the integration test, where the person is a pivotal part of the organization. And the next is economic reality test, whether the person is acquiring or incurring a profit or loss situation. If there is a profit or loss situation, he is an independent contractor. If there is no profit or loss situation, he is a workman. And the final is multiple test. The two main aspect of multiple test is that two main important condition is that whether the person can delegate his work to another person. The second thing is that whether the person can work for another person while doing another job itself. So I hope it is understood. So these are the four tests that need to be kept in mind and need to be applied when there's a question, and need to be identified whether the person is a workman or an independent contractor. Right. So let's go to the case law. So these are the case laws that I'm going to explain now are the case laws that is being given by Sir to us. So I might have given something more, or so I might have reduced the case law, but please focus on Sir's case law, because it is important that is the case law that you need to be writing in your exam paper. So please focus on that case law. So I'm going to explain the case laws that is being given to us, and I'm sorry, I'm going to look into the case law because I don't remember the facts. I remember the facts, I don't remember the names and all sorts of stuff. So I beg your pardon for that. So Ready Mix Concrete Limited versus Ministry of Pensions and National Insurance. So in this case, the facts of the case is that there is a lorry, and the lorry is painted in company's color, and there is a person who is a driver, and is being provided with a t-shirt uniform with the company's logo, and is being provided with a commission for the rate per quantity per the mile the person is doing the delivery, and Other thing is that the company can acquire the vehicle whenever they wanted to acquire, and the contract says that the person is the independent contractor. So contract is not binding, that we looked into it at the beginning of itself. So let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the other facts of the case. And there are certain other facts of the case also, which you can, which will help you to identify whether the person is a workman or an independent contractor. The person can decide on which route he can take to deliver the goods. That is, the particular person is not provided with the method of driving or the routes that he needs to be take to do the delivery. So that is not being provided by the company. The first point. Second thing, the maintenance of the vehicle is being done by the particular person. It's not being provided. It's maybe the allowance will be provided to the person, but the way in which it is being done is not given by the company. So the maintenance is done by the particular person. And the third important point, and here you can actually identify whether the person is a workman or a particular independent contractor, is that the person can use another person's service when he can't do the delivery. So on that aspect, you can identify whether the person is a workman or an independent contractor. Let's apply all four tests. The control test. So whether the company has a control over the particular person, yes, but not exactly. For example, the person can decide the route himself. He is maintaining the vehicle, and also he can use another person's help also. So there is no control. There is a control, but the control percentage is very much lower. Okay. The second point, whether the person is an integral part of the organization, no, completely no, because he can use another person's help. So another person can come in to fill the job instead of him. So he is not an integral part of the organization. Second, economic ready test. If this person has a profit or loss situation, yes, because he is maintaining the vehicle. So there might be a profit or loss situation arises. Multiple tests, there are two things I told you, importantly identifiable two things. That is, one, whether the person can delegate his work to another person, whether the person can work for another person while doing this job. So first point, whether the person can delegate the work to another person. If so, is independent contractor, not workman. So here he can delegate his work to another person, so he is an independent contractor. So that's the first case that we are looking at. Second case, Reverend Father Alexis Benedict of Youth Fisheries Training Project versus Denzel Pereira. So here the case is that it's a deep sea fishing fish training project. It's based on Negombo, and the particular person, the trainer, the person who was being training, has been provided 50% of the catch at the end of the month, and the other 50% is provided to meet the expenses. EPF is being provided, and the hostel is also being provided. So these are the facts of the case. So let's focus on the tests. Let's apply the tests and identify whether the person is a workman or independent contractor. First of all, control. So you can identify these persons can't go out of the business, go out of the training as they wish to. So that way there is indirect control by the employer towards this employee. And also the tools that is being used for the deep sea fishing training is being provided by the employers. So there is a particular control over this person. And second test, they are integral part of the project. Yes, they are integral part of the project. And the third point, there is an economic reality because the income may fluctuate, but there is no loss situation to them. They will earn the income from the 50% income from the catch, but there is no loss situation to them. So in that aspect, they are not independent contractor. So the fourth important point is that multiple test, the two important question, whether he can delegate the work to another person, no. So second point, whether he can work in another person's job while working in this job, no. So that means this person is a workman, not an independent contractor. So that's. Let's go into the third case, that is Instant Marketing Limited versus Ranabira. So I explained this case earlier as an example for control test. So here these are sales agents. These sales agents has been provided with vehicles, and the routes that is being the routes in which the person has to go and do the delivery has been provided by the employer, that is a particular control. And the method of sale, how to do the sale, is also done by the employer, that is also a particular control. So the employer has has a complete control over the particular employees. So here the Instant Marketing Limited versus Ranavira, the persons are workmen, not independent contractor. And okay, let's go to the fourth case, Selinco Insurance Corporation Limited versus Commissioner of Labour. So here the persons are insurance agents. The clause in which the facts of the case says that that person can't delegate the work to another person, and he can't directly or indirectly involved in another work while working in this job itself. So here, that on that two aspects only we can identify the person is a workman, not an independent contractor. That is the main two aspects that is that I mentioned in the multiple test you need to keep in mind. So that two aspect is mentioned in the case itself, the facts itself. So that is Selinco Insurance Corporation Limited versus Commissioner of Labour. So that case, the person is a workman because he can't delegate his work to another person. That is already been mentioned in the facts of the case, and he can't work for another person directly or indirectly. Right. The fifth case, Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation Limited versus Commissioner of Labour. Here, the person's employees who are working in the company is a motor car assessors. So here they have to report to work at the shortest notice. So they have a control that they can't work for another person. Kind of a control is there, and there is no clause or nothing is permitted them to delegate their work to another person. It is not provided anywhere in the clause, or it's not mentioned verbally also. So that means they can't provide they can't delegate their work to another person. So that means on that aspect as well itself, you can identify that the persons who are working in the particular organization are the motor car accessors are workmen because they can't delegate their work. They are available at the shortest notice. So there is a particular control. That means they have to be available at the shortest notice, means they can't work for another person. So the control is over that particular persons, that is motor car assessors, and also they can delegate the work. So that means there is a multiple test is also coming in. So that means the person is a independent. The person is a workman. The final case is a Pereira versus Maricar Bawa. This case is also explained through an example in the integration test. That is, a person is a head cutter, he's been provided with a cubicle, and he employed his own assistant, and the commission is being provided at the end of the month. He is not entitled to bonus, he does not sign the register. So but he is an integral part of the organization because he is the chief head cutter of the particular government. So he is an integral part. If the employer take him out of the business, there will be a vacuum. That vacuum is that person has provided his work to his work is work to the business. No, it's not an accessory, it's work to the business, being a vital part of the organization. That vacuum indirectly or directly says that he is a vital part of the organization. So that means he is a workman. So these are the 6 cases that is given to us by Sir. So let's quickly go through the cases once again. Readymix Concrete Limited versus Minister of Pensions and National Insurance Corporation case. That is the lorry that is being painted, but the person can decide the route that is going to go, and the maintenance is done by the particular person, and also he can use another person's help. That means he is an independent contractor. Next one, Reverend Father Alexis Benedict of Youth Fisheries Training Project versus Denzel Pereira, the Nicamba based project. That is, the persons are deep sea fishing training, and 50% of the catch is provided to the particular persons at the end of the month, and 50% to meet the expenses, and the persons is also being provided with EPF, and hostels is also being provided. So here they can't delegate the work to another person because they have to be there in the project throughout the project is being carried out. So that way they can work for another persons also, and there is a particular control, there is ownership of tools and such things as that is there. So that means they are integral part of the organization. The commission may fluctuate day to day, but they don't have a loss situation basically. So they are workmen. And the third case is that Instant Marketing Limited versus Ranavira sales agent case. That is the vehicles and the routes, the method of sale, and the areas in which they have to do the sale, all are being controlled by the employer. So that means the person is a workman. The next case, Seiko Insurance Corporation Limited versus Commissioner of Labor. That is the insurance agents. The facts of the case itself says that they can't delegate the work to another person. They can't directly or indirectly involve in any other business while doing this job. So that means that person is being controlled and they are integral part of the organization, and they can't delegate the work, and also they can't work for another person is being mentioned in the facts of the case itself. So they are workmen. The next case, Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation Limited versus Commission of Labour. Here they are motor car accessories. They have to be available at the shortest notice and provide the report at the shortest notice, and they can't delegate. There is no clause is permitting them to delegate the work to another person, so they can't delegate the work. And they have to report so they have to provide the report the shortest notice, in the sense they can't work for another person because they have to be available here. So that means there is a control over them, and they are integral part of the organization. That's why they have to be there in the business at the shortest notice, and also they can't provide the work to another person. They can't delegate the work to another person. So that way they are workmen. So the final case is that Pereira versus Maricar Bawa. They are the headquarter of the particular garment, and he's been provided with a cubicle, and he himself employs another person to work for him. Is provided with a commission at the end of the month. Is not in the he does not sign the register. He does not entitled for bonus, but he is an integral part of the organization, because if the employer takes him out, there will be a vacuum. That vacuum directly or indirectly says that the person is providing his or her work to the particular organization, and that is a pivotal part of the organization. That means is an integral part of the vital part of the organization. So these are the cases that is being provided by sir to us. So they might have provided much more cases, or might be less cases, but focus on that cases really well. So we identified, first of all, at the framework itself, what is contract of service and what is contract for service. The tests to identify the contract of service and contract of service, I provided some practical examples to it, and we gone through the case laws. So let's go through the past paper questions. Okay, let's focus on the past paper question. The first past paper question is the October 2019 question. The question is, the Colombo Vehicle Clinic Limited (CVC) provides mobile repair service of vehicles in and around Colombo. The company engages 15 persons as mechanics since the commencement of its business in 2013. The company provides T-shirts to the mechanics to wear during their working hours. The company provides motorbikes and tools to the mechanics to provide their service to the customers. The company pays rupees 25,000 as retaining fees to each mechanic and an allowance based on repairs they undertake during the month. According to the agreement between the parties, the mechanics cannot delegate their work to any other person. The company treats them as independent contractors. The mechanic wishes to know whether they are workmen or independent contractors of the company. Advise them. So let's see what is this question is about. So it's straight away the question is about whether the person is a workman, the mechanics are workmen or independent contractor. So that is the issue. The contract says them as independent contractor, but we know the contract is not a binding authority. We have to consider the facts of the case most importantly. So let's focus on the facts of the case and apply the tests accordingly. So the facts of the case. First of all, it is said that the ownership of the tools, and there is a uniform, and the vehicle is also provided. So on these three aspects there is a control. Well, let's apply the control test. So the ownership of tool is there, and uniform is being provided, and also motor vehicle is also being provided. All these things are owned by the company. So there is a control by the company over the mechanics. So the control, according to the control test, yes, they are workmen. And the second point is economic reality test. So on the economic reality test, there is a point where it says that 25,000 rupees is paid to each mechanic as a retaining fee and the allowance according to their repair work. So the allowance may fluctuate, but the retaining fees remains the same. It does not tends to have a profit or loss situation, especially there is no loss situation to them. So that means on that aspect, I said it before, if there is no profit or loss situation, he is a workman. So according to that also we can identify he is a workman. Multiple tests, I said two important things: whether the person can delegate his work to another person, whether the person can work for another person while doing his job. So the agreement itself says that the person cannot delegate the work for another person. So according to the multiple test also, it's very clear, pretty much clear, that the person is a workman, because he can't delegate his work to another person, so that means he is a workman. And also you can identify the integration test also, whether they are integral part of the organization. Yes, sort of, because they are pivotal part of the organization. There are 15 people who are working for 6 years. So that means they are important part, they are pivotal part, they are vital part of the organization. They are providing their service to the company, to the business. It's not a necessary, they're providing their service to the business. So that means applying all four tests, we can identify the person is a workman or independent contractor. In this aspect, even though the contract says them as an independent contractor, according to the facts of the case, we can identify they are not independent contractors, they are workmen. So the cases that you can be applied here is that you can say the Instant Marketing Limited versus Ranavira, for the control that they have on the ownership, the tools and the motor vehicles and stuff, uniform and things like that. And also Selenco Insurance Corporation Limited versus Commissioner of Labour case also can be mentioned, because of the delegation of work cannot be done here in this case also, and also in that case also the agreement itself says that it cannot delegate the work to another person. There are also Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation cases also can be applied here because of the delegation part. And also we can apply Pereira versus Maricar Baua also, and because of the integral part of the organization. And also you can apply the Ready Mix Concrete Limited case also. So that means you can apply all four cases, but these three cases, that is Instant Marketing Limited versus Ranavira, Selenco Insurance Corporation Limited versus Commissioner of Labour, Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation Limited versus Commissioner of Labour, is straight away connected to the cases, but you can connect other cases to the situation also. So we saw the issue. I provided the way in which you need to identify you need to apply the tests, that means control test, what are the facts of the case and how it being connected, and economic related test, what are the facts of the case and how it can be connected, multiple tests, what are the facts of the case, how it can be connected, and integral test, what are the facts of the case and how it can be connected. So all four tests we applied it, and we come to the point and we provided some case laws. Instant Marketing Limited versus Ranavira, Selenco Insurance Corporation Limited versus Commissioner of Labour, Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation Limited versus Commissioner of Labour, and all we explained all cases, and we explained the cases according to the facts of this case, so that we can compare and contrast and identify whether the person is a workman or an independent contractor. So on that case, at the conclusion, you can say the person is a workman because of these factors. So I hope you understood the point. So if you didn't understand the point, please do feel free to ask anyone from our batch, or you can ask me also while after college begins. Okay, the next case is that from October 2018. Okay, October 2018. Same second question. It is much similar case, but there's one point you might get confused. So let's focus on the case. The question says, Colombo Kessel Foods Limited provides delivery service of its foods to the customers in Colombo. The company engages 20 persons to deliver the foods from the commencement of its business in 2013. The company provides uniform to the delivery persons to wear during their working hours. The agreement between the company and the delivery person has a clause which states your agreement with the company will not construe employer-employee relationship. However, you cannot engage in any other work during the existence of your contract with the company. Right. the company does not pay wage to the delivery person, but it pays only a commission calculated on the basis of 15% of the total value of the food items delivered during the month. Discuss whether the delivery persons are workmen or independent contractor. Okay, so the issue of the case is that the contract says there is no employer-employee relationship. Uh, so the persons are considered an independent contractor, but the question is that whether the delivery persons are independent contractors or not. That is, it is according to the contract or they are workmen. So that is the question simply. So that's the issue of the case. The point I said that confuses you is the part where it says the 15% of the commission is being paid, not the wage is being paid. Okay, let's come to that point. We'll come to the point in order. So let's just focus on the facts of the case, and then we'll apply to the tests and then see whether the person is a workman or an independent contractor. You might have known by now who is he a workman or independent contractor, but let's focus on the facts of the case and apply the tests. So first point is that these persons are to wear, that is the company provides uniform to deliver to the delivery persons to wear during the working hours. Right, so the persons has been provided a uniform to wear in the delivery hours. So somewhat the control test being coming in here. So that is done. So second part, the integration test. Next test will go to the multiple test. Okay, so that's how it is arranged in the question. The agreement between the company and delivery person as a clause states that your agreement with the company will not construe employee-employee relationship. That's the problem we have. So contract says they are not workmen. However, you cannot engage in any other work during the existence of your contract with the company. So in this case, you can identify whether the person is a workman or an independent contractor. So the company says there is no employee-employee relationship. So that means these delivery persons are not workmen of the company, they are independent contractor. But the company also says that they cannot work for another person while they are working in the company during the contract period. So that means they indirectly saying that they cannot delegate the work also, they cannot work for another person to work for another person while doing this job. So that means they have a absolute control, and also the multiple test applies here. They are being integral part because they are working since 2013 till now, and so on that test aspect, on that three aspect, they are workmen of the what do you call, the Colombo Kessel Foods Limited. They are not independent contractors as said in the contract. Okay, the point where it confuses you, that is the point which says that 50% of the total value of the food items delivered during the month is being paid as a commission, not the wage is being paid. Okay, simply I stated your point where there is in the economic reality test itself, there should be a cost of production minus sales, and on that aspect only there will be a profit or loss situation. So here there is no cost of production, simply there is no cost of production to these people. So if there is no cost of production, sales, that is the income may fluctuate. The 15% of the value of the delivery that is being provided by them on a particular month may vary from month to month, but there is no cost of production involved, so that there will be no loss situation to them. The income may fluctuate, absolutely income may fluctuate, but since there is no cost of production to them, they only paid the commission, so that there is no loss situation. So that means simply they are not independent contractors. I will explain it again. That is, there is no cost of production involved. That means if there is no cost of production involved, whatever they earn is their earnings simply. So there is no profit or loss, because there is nothing to be minus or nothing to be added. So simply on that aspect, they are workmen, not independent contractor. I said if there is a profit or loss situation, they are there is a profit or loss situation, they are independent contractor. If there is no profit or loss situation, they are workmen. So here they don't have a profit or loss situation, even though the income fluctuates, because there is no cost of production. So they are workmen. So we applied all four tests. Uniform is being provided, and the multiple tests, that is they cannot delegate the work, and most importantly they cannot work for other persons while doing this job that is being mentioned in the clause itself. And economic derivative test, yes, there will be a income fluctuation, but there is no profit or loss situation. And integral part, yes, they are working since 2013, so they being an integral part of the organization for 6 years now. They are being a total part of the organization for 6 years now, so that means they are workmen, not independent contractors. So here you can apply the same similar cases, but the most important case that needs to be identified is, because the commission being involved, is the Reverend Father Alexis Benedict Youth Fisheries Training Project versus Denzil Pereira, because there is also 50% of the catch is being provided at the end of the month, and 50% is being provided for meet their expenses. That means and also EPF is also being provided, hostel is being also provided, ownership of tools is also there, uniform is also being given. So on that all aspect, that case is pretty much suitable to be written in this particular question. And also you can write Instant Marketing Limited versus Ranavira, and also Selinco Insurance Corporation Limited versus Denzil Pereira, and also the Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation Limited versus Commissioner of Labour cases. Also you can write Ready Mix Concrete Limited case, and also Pereira versus Marika Bauer case, and you can connect the case to the question also. So, and finally at the conclusion you can say the person is a workman according to the analysis that is being done by you, and the provided case laws that is being provided by you in the. Okay, let's go to the April 2018 question paper. Second question: explain the tests that differentiate a workman from an independent contractor in the light of the cases decided by the Superior Courts of Sri Lanka. Okay, don't get confused or don't get panicked by the word Superior Courts of Sri Lanka. There are 4 cases in our case that has given the Superior Courts Authority, that is Reverend Father Alexis Benedict of Youth Fishing Project versus Denzil Pereira, that is a Court of Appeal case, and Instant Marketing Limited versus Ranavira is a Court of Appeal case. Selinco Insurance Corporation Limited versus Commissioner of Labour is a Court of Appeal case. Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation Limited versus Commissioner of Labour is a Court of Appeal case. I'm not sure about Ready Mix Concrete Limited case and Pereira versus Marika Bauer case. I will check you that and will explain you in the next session, in the next part. I will let you know that. But as of now, these 4 cases are Court of Appeals Authority, that is Superior Courts Authority, so keep that in mind. Right, so let's focus on the case. So I'm not going to say how to write the answer because it may vary to person. So I just give just a brief understanding on how I write, and it's not the right way to write. I'm not sure whether it's right way to write also, because I didn't know how the paper is being marked. So just focus on Sir's guidelines on how to write the exam, but this how just let's see just a framework of it. So this is not the ideal framework. I'm gonna say it again, it's not the ideal framework. This is just an idea to give you that it can be also a way to write. So first of all, they are asking you to write the case on the light of the answer on the light of the cases. So the case laws are most important part. They're gonna expect you to write at least 4 or 5 or 6 cases in this question. So because they're expecting that particularly the differentiation has to be made according to the case laws. So that means the case laws are pivotal part of this question. So that you need to identify first. So how you start the question is that first of all, you can start it from the beginning itself, the way in which I explained to you. There is a contract of service is there, contract for service is there, workman independent contractor. You need to identify these 2 people because there is a retirement benefits and gratuity and things like that is going on after their service period is over. So that you need to identify whether the person is a workman or an independent contractor, and there are 4 tests that's being carried out to identify whether the person is a workman or an independent contractor. And in that 4 tests also you can include the case laws, or you can include the case laws separately also. So let's say control test is there, the person is having control over the particular person. In that case, in that particular point, you can take the case of Instant Marketing Limited versus Ranavira and then explain the case, and then you can differentiate, contrast and compare, say that if this is situation, this person is a workman, and this is situation, this person is a independent contractor. And also you can additionally mention the point where if the skill set is high and the control tends to lower. and the second part is the integration test, and you can say the pivotal part, the vital part of the organization. He needs to provide his service to the business. It's not necessary to the business, and on that case you can say that Pereira versus Marikaba case. I will definitely tell you whether it's a superior court's authority or not in the next session, but as of now, well, let's say Pereira versus Marikaba, and you can explain that case. Headquarter cubicle is not signing the register, is being provided a commission and stuff like that, but and also it's being pay a commission and things like that, but still is a pivotal part of the organization because in a chief headquarter of the government, so he's being integral part of the organization, so he's a workman. And you have to identify the other aspect also. If it's not, that is a independent contractor. And another test, economic reality test. Economic reality test is that if there is a profit or loss situation, that person is a workman, independent contractor. If there is no profit or loss situation, he is an independent contractor. For that you can give the Archie's example as a practical example, or give any sort of practical example, and also Reverend Father Alexis Benedict of Youth Fisheries Corporation Fishery Training Project versus Denzil Pereira cases also can be provided, but as far as I know, give that practical the example and then explain the case later on. And multiple test, you can say that there are multiple conditions or aspects in which it needs to be identified, that is control, whether hostel is being provided, ownership of tools and such things like that, and also the two main important aspects, whether the person can delegate his work to another person, whether the person can work for another person while doing this job. So for that you can say Selinco Insurance Corporation Limited versus Commissioner of Labour, Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation Limited versus Commissioner of Labour. You can say for Reverend Father Alexis Benedict of Youth Fisheries Training Project versus Denzil Pereira case also. You can mention Ready Mix Concrete case as a separate case also. So you can explain all 7 cases, and then you can most importantly, do not mention the case as it is, like this is why they are workmen, this is why they are. Just explain why they are considered as workmen, but on what point they are being considered as workmen, and what point they are considered as independent contractor. That is, if it's a delegation, if there is a delegation, he is an independent contractor. If there is no delegation, he is a workman. So that is being expected from you, because there is a case law, and that case law, why that case law is being decided by the superior courts is from that point itself. So for simply, if I give an example, Selinco Insurance Corporation Limited versus Commissioner of Labour, the case law decides on the facts that it said that 2 things, that is, he cannot delegate the work for another person, and also the fact itself says that the person cannot directly or indirectly involved in any other business or any other work, business or any sort of thing while doing this job. So that means so that is the most important thing that is being provided by the case law to us to identify and differentiate between a workman and an independent contractor. So that's how you need to differentiate between workman and independent contractor on the context of the case, on the point that is being given on the case, the ratio of the case that is being given, ratio residency of the case. Okay, so that's it. We did October 2019 second question, October 2018 second question, April 2018 second question. So totally 3 questions we did. So you can do other papers also, but these 3 papers is much more enough, I would say. But you can go through other cases. I'm not against it. You can go through other case laws. So simply what we done today is we learned what is industrial law, and that means to whom it is applied to private sector, contract of service, contract for service, why it is being differentiated, and why we need to know whether a person is a workman or an independent contractor, and the traditional tests that are being followed: control test, integration test, economic reality test, multiple test. And we gone through 6 or 7 case laws, and then we went through the past paper questions, that is October 2019 second question, or April 2019 second question, and April 2018 second question, and October 2018 second question. So we went through all the case, and we went through how to write the answers for that case, how to write, not the ideal way, just a framework to sort of identify how to apply this theory to that question, problem question or theory question. So we did that also. So I hope you understood what is the first part of the industrial law, that is contract of service and contract for service, is all about learning through practical sense. That is, practical examples are very much important rather than theoretical example, because that will that will have it in your head while you're writing the exam, because you will have to memorize a lot in the latter part of the syllabus. So that means memorize in the sense you have to keep the things, the sections, numbers in mind. So the practical way of learning this part will help you to store much more memory or much more sections in the head in the latter part of the syllabus. So keep it in the practical sense, learn it in the practical way. Thank you so much. Be safe.